All right, let's give the other stream here just a second to go live. We got a little bit of time, about 12 minutes until the close. I don't think we're going to see too much change here in the market because we've had a decent drop in the morning and a decent recovery here into the afternoon. So I think moves have been made. But we will be going over the market and going over today's plays. Let's get started. Good afternoon. This is Ifan from the Strategic Day Trader, and this is your market wrap for June 1st, 2022. Q is basically flat on the day, 0.09. Maybe, just around yesterday's close, maybe even down a little bit. And then SPY, down about 0.25%, not down much. And then the IWM, which has shown a little bit of relative weakness throughout the morning, but now has gotten its way back to flat on the day. Okay. Coming into today, we were bullish and waiting to see what this sell setup had in store. Once that triggered, right, then that for us, we can see that the hourly is trying to break, and then the daily, right, is also triggering that sell setup. Okay, we looked at some examples yesterday of kind of previous sell setups here, what they look like, the run up there, and then the break of the previous bar's low. We get the move up, and then the break of the previous bar's low. And so we did get the trigger today, but notice that we bounced right back up here on the Qs and SPY. So for me, I'm going to stay bearish as long as we stay below today's high. Now, I think another way that you could approach this is if we break underneath today's low, all out bearish, okay? Because that'll just be confirmation that the sell setup is going to work. Now, okay, so what if we move up and we take out today's high, right? Then we can no longer be bearish, right? In fact, should be really looking to be bullish because the attempt to come in, right, has gotten negated. And that's also what we talked about yesterday, is that, this sell setup will tell us how likely or how long of a short-term bottom this is going to be, okay? So if we come back in, the bears try to make their move, it doesn't get much follow through and then gets negated, right? Then we would expect this short-term bottom to be more of a longer-term bottom. So, I would expect, in weeks, maybe months, if we, in either tomorrow or the day after, I mean, we could even base here, that would be pretty bullish. So it could be next week. If we take out today's high, then really I think we're bullish for quite some time. Okay, so that's the expectation. Now, the other interesting thing here is that the monthly bar has started, okay? And so we got this doji bar here on the SPY and on the Qs. So, the move lower, a more neutral bar here with the tight, narrow body, right? Back over that, right? It would also give us a pretty bullish looking picture. But first, we'll have to see what the follow through is on this sell setup. One other thing I want to mention here when looking at this sell setup, we've seen in the past a sell setup fail, okay? And then right after it failed, get sold, okay? So let's say tomorrow, if we get a gap up, right, and we take this out, the first thing we're going to be watching for is, does that hold or does that get sold right away? Okay, so, I think anybody who's kind of traded patterns, that sometimes, price can try to break down by just a little bit and then get bought, or break out just by a little bit and get sold, right? And then eventually the trend that we're in will take over. So if we look at this, example here, right, breakdown, got bought, but where are we coming from? We're coming from a downtrend, so eventually that breakdown does follow through. But, we see shakeouts all the time, right? Doesn't even have to be in the market, although market has plenty of its own shakeouts. So that's what I'm saying watch out for, is just in case, if we gap up tomorrow and then get sold and come right back down, that's probably going to be the thing that actually goes from over yesterday's high and today's high right through to today's low. So be on the lookout for that. So, but if we gap up, we take out today's high and we hold, we don't get sold right away, and then I would be basically back to bullish on the Qs and SPY. Basically the daily attempt to roll over, didn't get much follow through, and is now moving up. So that would signal to us bulls are in command. Okay, so here bears kind of have a chance here to show what they got. Okay, all right, let's get into the plays from today. So very similar to yesterday. Yesterday was the OTLK, right, which ended up setting a really nice base breakout on a big gap down, oversized gap down, base breakout, penny by penny gets you, I think on this one was like 18, 20 cents in a row without ever taking out the bid. So really, really nice on the OTLK. Now, so that was a nice gap. We got a good level 2 and a good pattern, right? And that's what we got today on the bark. So if you played the bark, is also good on the flip as well. The only challenge was getting filled. Okay, so here it is, the bark doing a 1 minute sell setup, right back down into the lows, starts to base a bit, another inside bar there, and just level 2 looked great all throughout on this bearish gap down that is breaking to all-time lows. So you got bearish time frame alignment, you got a good level 2, nice base there, yeah, it was really nice on the bark if you played. And then if you did the flip, right, this did give you time to get the flip, was nice as well. So we saw that the volume, notice how the volume came in right there. That's always going to be something you want to be aware of when you're in a play, and it's trending nicely, and then the volume kicks up. Okay, but that's what we want to be looking for. Just like the DM, when the DM gapped down on this day here and had a really nice level 2, really good patterns, right? Those are the days where you kind of get everything lining up. Okay, so those are the kind of days. So really for me, I mean, the bark was definitely the biggest play for me today with the short and then with the flip, and then MAT was okay. MAT in the morning, right at $2 was the start, and then trailed at 204, 203. Added a little bit on the way up, so nice pattern there. It was okay. Like this, I don't really love. It's not a gap, not quite as powerful as the bark. And then the HYMC kind of was disappointed with, because the first time I played it, okay, after this got a shakeout, it flipped so fast, basically didn't get anything out of it. So I got it, and then it was looking really nice, and then immediately flipped, really tight base, and you even got the shakeout there, which makes it nice. And then tried it again right here on this attempt to break out right there. When it tried to break out, that didn't work, came right back down. Yeah, it came back in, and then I missed the much nicer move right there. So, this one gave me a little bit of a hard time today. Just couldn't quite get the timing right. I mean, this was okay, but it flipped so fast. This one you can see at least hung at the top, gives you time to get out and lock in the profit. Yeah, I kind of gave up on it before it did this breakout. So that was a little disappointing. Again, level 2 was all right. Pattern I actually liked a lot, and then the daily was good. But the intraday patterns I thought were pretty good. Especially before it put in that big topping tail. It's a really nice high of the day base. And then, this was fine, I think. But, yeah, nice, almost a bleed pattern there. You got the pullback, the base sideways, the 20 MA catching up. So, yeah, I just kind of gave up on it because it just wasn't acting all that easy, or not that easy to scalp. So that one kind of got away from me. Okay, so we can see the Qs here coming in a little bit. It doesn't change anything, right? Because going into tomorrow, like I said, we're bearish unless we take out today's high. Okay, so doesn't really make a difference here. All right. So we'll see what we get tomorrow. I think waiting to see if the bears have teeth here if we're going to get follow through tomorrow to the downside. This is the bear signal we talked about yesterday, and I guess we'll wait and see how much follow through it gets. All right, I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Have a good rest of the day.